The Iraqi army exists no more. The Syrian army is down to at least 50% of its size of 2 years ago. The Egyptian army, all of its 14 divisions, maybe 7 are in any way active, not corroded, corrupt, falling apart. The Arab military threat to Israel has evaporated. Arab societies, as you all know, from Libya and Tunisia through Egypt to Syria, and it'll yet, unfortunately, come to Jordan, are so convulsed with internal conflict that for the next 2 to 3 to 4 decades, they are going to be racked by such internal tensions and such internal economic disparities and needs that their ability to mount a coordinated offensive against Israel in the conventional military sense is simply gone. It's gone. It's gone. So before we start discussing all the threats and the emerging threats and the dangers that are posed to Israel from the crumbling of the old Arab architecture around Israel, first let's recognize that the conventional military threat against Israel has greatly disappeared. And that is a net gain for Israel. It has tremendous long-term significance. Now, we all know that there are new threats emerging. What was the authoritarian control over countries like Egypt, where the security services had penetrated every element in society. You couldn't burp, you couldn't breathe, you couldn't blow your nose without somebody in the security services knowing about it. That's all gone. Morsi doesn't have control over the streets of Cairo, never mind the sands of Sinai, and whoever emerges as the leader or one of the leaders in Syria towards the future will never have the same authoritarian control over the country that Assad's mukhabarat, his security services, had. So that creates potential for great conflict. We all know about the threat of weapon stocks, missiles spreading all over, new weapon systems coming into the region, whether it be from Iran or from Russia. All these pose